Most people believe life is complicated because of circumstances, bad luck, or the people around them. But in reality, life becomes difficult when we fail to master certain lessons. The problem isn't always the outside world, it's how we respond to it. We hold on to things we should have let go of long ago. We chase people who don't respect us. We stay in places that drain us, hoping things will change. And when life feels unbearable, we wonder why. But the truth is, we are often the architects of our own suffering. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that not everything or everyone deserves your energy. How many times have you tried to explain yourself to someone who refuses to understand you? How often have you argued with people who have already made up their minds? Every time you do, you drain yourself emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every opinion matters. Imagine holding onto a rope that's burning your hands. The longer you hold on, the more it hurts. But you refuse to let go because you believe you need to win, to be right, to prove a point. The reality is, the moment you let go, the pain stops. The same applies to life. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to fix people who don't want to change. You don't have to keep explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And then there's another lesson that frees you instantly. Expect nothing from others, and you will never be disappointed. Most of the pain people feel in life doesn't come from what actually happens. It comes from the expectations they placed on others. You expect people to love you the way you love them. You expect kindness to be returned. You expect honesty from those you've been honest with. But life doesn't work like that. Reality is much simpler. People will act based on their nature, not your expectations. If you're constantly hurt by people, ask yourself, were they truly cruel? Or did you simply expect too much from them? When you stop expecting people to change, to treat you the way you treat them, to understand you the way you want to be understood, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. You will never be able to control how others behave, but you can control how much access they have to you. Stop chasing apologies. Stop waiting for people to appreciate you. Stop expecting life to be fair. Because the moment you let go of these expectations, you take back control of your happiness. One of the most powerful lessons that will simplify your life is learning the art of detachment. Most people suffer not because life is hard, but because they are too emotionally attached to people, to opinions, to outcomes, to things that no longer serve them. Think about how often your emotions dictate your actions. Someone disrespects you, and you immediately feel the need to respond. Someone ignores you, and your mind races, wondering what you did wrong. You don't get the result you wanted, and suddenly you feel like a failure. But here's the truth. Your emotions are real, but they are not always reliable. You've been conditioned to believe that the more you care, the better your life will be. But that's a lie. Caring too much about the wrong things will exhaust you. It will leave you constantly worried, constantly seeking validation, constantly controlled by people who shouldn't have power over you. So, how do you free yourself? By mastering detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop attaching your happiness and self-worth to things outside of your control. It means you learn to observe instead of react. Imagine walking into a room filled with arguing people. Your natural instinct might be to step in, to defend yourself, to prove your point. But if you've mastered detachment, you'll do something different. You'll stand there, watch, and say, "This is not worth my peace." Then you'll walk away, because you know that your energy is more valuable than their drama. Detachment is also about letting go of the need to be liked. Many people spend their lives trying to be accepted by friends, by colleagues, by society. They shapeshift, they suppress their true selves, all in the hope of approval. But the moment you detach from this need, you gain something far more valuable: freedom. Think about it. How many times have you held back your opinions, your desires, or your truth just because you were afraid of judgment? How many decisions have you made based on what others might think? When you stop seeking validation, life becomes incredibly simple. You no longer worry about who's watching. You no longer care about who approves. You live for yourself, not for the expectations of others. And then there's the biggest form of detachment: letting go of the past. Most people are trapped, not by their present situation, but by their past pain. They replay old conversations, hold on to past betrayals, relive their mistakes like a broken record. And because of this, they never truly move forward. But here's a truth no one tells you: your past only has power over you if you keep feeding it. You don't move on by waiting for closure. You don't heal by demanding apologies. You move on the moment you decide, "I will no longer let this define me." Detachment is the ultimate strength. When you learn to let go of things that drain you, unnecessary arguments, people's opinions, past regrets, you make space for something better: peace, clarity, and true happiness. If you truly want a simpler, more fulfilling life, you must learn how to shift your perspective. Most of the problems people struggle with aren't actually problems. They are just a result of how they choose to see things. Think about it. Two people can go through the exact same situation, but experience it completely differently. One sees a failure as the end, while the other sees it as a lesson. One takes rejection personally, while the other sees it as redirection. One drowns in stress, while the other learns to adapt. The difference? Perspective. The truth is, most people suffer not because life is cruel, but because their perspective is limited. They focus on what's missing instead of what they have. They see obstacles as punishments instead of opportunities. They let setbacks define them instead of refine them. So, how do you master perspective? By training your mind to zoom out. When something bad happens, most people zoom in. They focus on the pain, the frustration, the immediate loss. They get caught up in the emotions of the moment and forget the bigger picture. But if you zoom out, if you see beyond the temporary discomfort, you'll realize that most of the things that stress you today won't even matter a year from now. Take a moment to reflect on the worst things you've experienced: the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the failures. At the time, they felt like the end of the world. But now, you survived. And in many cases, you're stronger because of them. This is proof that pain is temporary and that time always brings perspective. Another key to mastering perspective is understanding that life is always testing you before it blesses you. Every struggle you face is preparing you for something greater. The setbacks are making you stronger. The disappointments are teaching you patience. The hardships are shaping your wisdom. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Because the truth is, you can either let life break you, or you can let it build you. But perhaps the most important perspective shift is this: happiness is not found in the future. It's found in the present. Most people think they'll be happy once they achieve something, once they get the perfect job, once they find the perfect partner, once they have more money, once they move to a better place. But this kind of thinking is a trap, because the moment you achieve one goal, your mind immediately jumps to the next. You're always chasing happiness, but never arriving at it. True peace comes when you realize that life is happening now, that the small moments, the quiet mornings, the deep conversations, the simple joys are just as valuable as the big achievements, that there is beauty in imperfection, and that waiting for life to be perfect is the fastest way to waste it. So, if you want a simpler, happier life, train yourself to see things differently. Zoom out when life feels overwhelming. Shift your focus from problems to possibilities. Stop chasing happiness in the future and start appreciating the life you have today. Because once you master your perspective, life doesn't just become simpler, it becomes limitless.